your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,299. Silver at $15.03. And Bitcoin is trading around $5,064. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is in custody. That happened Thursday following a raid on the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where Assange was arrested. According to a news release from the Department of Justice, Assange is charged with computer hacking conspiracy for allegedly working with U.S. Army soldier at the time, Chelsea Manning, to leak documents. The Free Thought Project reports that Assange was in handcuffs when he was brought out of the embassy, and as he was being dragged from the embassy, he managed to grab a book, Gore Vidal, History of the National Security State. As he was shoved into a van, Assange held the book facing forward so that it could be seen by the camera. According to the report from Free Thought Project, the book was written by Vidal and the Real News Network senior editor Paul Jay. It explains how the United States established the massive military-industrial security complex and the political culture that gave us the imperial presidency. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. During a day of fundraisers and rallies across Texas, President Donald Trump signed 2 executive orders intended to speed up the approval process for oil and gas projects. The anti-media reports the orders also limit states' ability to intervene in the projects. One of Trump's executive orders is aimed at streamlining the approval process for energy infrastructure that crosses international borders. Trump said pipelines, roads, and railways along the border will take no more than 60 days to be approved or denied, and that the decision will now come directly from the president himself. The order changes previous rules which gave the Secretary of State the authority to issue permits for cross-border pipelines and similar infrastructure, a process that has, in some cases, taken years. Trump blamed the delay of pipeline projects on states like Washington and New York for restrictive policies on oil and gas. He also blamed radical activists for slowing down the completion of pipeline projects around the nation, including the Dakota Access Pipeline. Amazon employs thousands of people to listen in on what people around the world are saying to their Alexa digital assistant. That's according to what is sure to be a congressional hearing-inspiring report by Bloomberg, which cites 7 people who have worked on the program. Activist Post reports that while their job is to help improve Alexa, which powers the company's line of Echo speakers, the team listens to voice recordings captured in Echo owners' homes and offices, which are then transcribed, annotated, and fed back into the software in order to try and improve Alexa's understanding of human speech for more successful interactions. The listening team is comprised of part-time contractors and full-time Amazon employees based around the world. Listeners work 9-hour shifts, with each reviewing as many as 1,000 audio clips per shift, according to 2 employees from Amazon's Bucharest office, located in the top 3 floors of the Romanian capital's Global Worth building, and bears no exterior sign advertising Amazon's presence. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A report published this week found that a growing number of Americans are being forced to make ends meet by collaborating on songs with Miami-based rapper Pitbull. Citing rising income inequality and a turbulent job market, the report found many U.S. citizens moonlighting as recording artists, mixing drum beats, and guest starring on tracks for the Latin American producer.
It's exhausting, between being part of Pitbull's entourage anytime he's on a club tour and mixing new hooks for him every few nights. I barely see my wife anymore. It's not like I want to do another remix with Avicii, but we really need the money. Okay, sure. I need to get back to work.
In a groundbreaking find, paleontologists this week unearthed the earliest known dinosaur stickers on record. Reportedly discovered in a box labeled Greg's Room, the excavated remains of the reptile adhesives include such stunning specimens as a Triceratops featuring the words Dinos Rock, an Apatosaurus sticker, and the extremely rare puffy kind.
This is the Onion News Network. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Live tonight, live every night. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. We'd love to have you call in. And it's been I guess in the Liberty circles, it's certainly been a disappointing couple days. In studio, we have myself, Chris.
I'm Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And I am referring to the arrest of Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks.
Boo!
Yeah, right? This is it's disappointing, and I think a lot of people knew that Assange wasn't going to spend the rest of his life living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London,
which is probably, on balance. I don't think he wanted to spend the rest of his life in an embassy anyway. It's like one step above being in jail. I'm sure the food's better.
Right. But it was a shame because he was basically hiding. He was a political prisoner. Self-imposed. I'm not sure how we would actually. Are
you hiding if everyone in the world knows exactly where you are?
That's a good point.
Not well.
I mean, are you hiding once you've been found and everyone knows you're there? I don't know if you could call it hiding.
Yeah, I don't know if you could either.
Well, I don't know. I've seen people being perp-walked who are still putting their hands over their faces or their coats over their head or something. So I guess it is technically possible to continue to attempt to hide. How well you're hiding is a matter of success, not intent.
Yeah, it was self-imposed. If he would have left the grounds at any time, if he would have left the Ecuadorian embassy, he would have been arrested, and that's been clear for years.
They had apparently 24-hour surveillance.
Yes.
That was one of the controversies in the UK, was some were rightfully upset at, like, hey, this is costing taxpayer money to have police out there 24/7 for 6 years or whatever it was.
And these were British police running an errand for the U.S. government.
Yes, and that certainly has not gone away. The only thing that occurred after he was taken from the embassy was turned over to U.S. authorities and served. So
hold on, wait, he's already been turned over?
No, I don't think so. Doesn't he have extradition hearings coming?
Oh, possibly.
They can't just extradite you embassy to embassy.
I think I'm thinking what they'd like to do.
I think you're thinking of that too.
Could be my bad. But they've been trying to get a hold of Assange pretty much since WikiLeaks days. Since 2006, 2008, 2010. Yeah. But since the early days, they've been trying to come up with some excuse to nail him, and the excuse that they ended up using is somewhat convoluted. But the idea that you cannot, seek some sort of asylum from another country, and as soon as you go, they're going to turn on you, they're going to flip on you as the host country of this embassy.
Now, apparently the British police, their excuse for arresting him is for not turning himself in on the trumped-up rape charges, which have already been discredited. Is that correct?
Long ago.
Yeah, I know they've been discredited long ago, but that's actually one of the reasons for...
he missed a court
I think
date.
that was the only British reason.
As I understand it, he missed like a court date in Britain regarding the extradition over that. But so the extradition.
How would he have gone to a court date if he had gone? Would he have been arrested or would they have held court in the embassy, or would he have been arrested as soon as he tried to go to court?
We're going to try to answer some of these questions, and I'm going to the BBC for this one. Julie,
I'd like. No, let me interrupt. Well, let me interrupt you.
Please.
The other question is: has he had prior court appearances for which he has appeared and not been arrested in Britain? That would be a good question.
Yep. Julian Assange, WikiLeaks co-founder, arrested in London is the headline. WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange has been arrested at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Assange took refuge in the embassy in 2012 to avoid extradition to Sweden over a sexual assault case that has since been dropped. At Westminster Magistrates Court on Thursday, he was found guilty of failing to surrender to the court. Found guilty of failing to surrender to the court.
Basically a failure to appear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He now faces U.S. federal conspiracy charges related to one of the largest ever leaks of government secrets. And those leaks were the Chelsea Manning leaks.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
In order to prove conspiracy, are they saying that he conspired with the people who liberated these documents from the DNC, or is he saying that are they saying that he conspired to publish the documents once they were already out?
Is this about the DNC or is it about Bradley Manning?
It's about Bradley Manning.
Ah, okay, I see.
That's okay. Manning. We haven't yet got to that, and we may never. And I mean, in terms of finding out what absolutely happened with Hillary's mail server and all of that, and the leaked DNC documents that made their way into WikiLeaks. 855-450-FREE is our phone number. I'm going to continue here. The UK will decide whether to extradite Assange in response to allegations by the Department of Justice that he conspired with former U.S. intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning to download classified databases. He faces up to 5 years in U.S. prison if convicted on the charges of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. So it is a conspiracy.
Is it multiple charges or just one? I see the BBC saying charges there. I thought I saw elsewhere it was just a charge. But
I believe it's only one single charge. I think that's where we're at.
I'm guessing that there's at least two, one failure to appear in Britain and whatever it is they're wanting to extradite him for the United States on, because he couldn't be facing failure to appear in the United States.
Oh, they might. Rich.
Well, I mean, he could, but
anything's possible.
I don't think that's how they're playing it.
No, and another article I read, I'm not sure if this one gets into, but it talks about the very, very, very narrow scope of charges the U.S. is leveling right now. It is one single charge of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion. The reason being the U.S. government's desire not to make this a First Amendment case.
A First Amendment or a death penalty case, because if they accuse him of treason, he's Australian, isn't he?
Yes.
So I don't think he can be accused of treason. I was thinking, because treason is a death penalty offense technically, so the UK might refuse to extradite him if he's charged with something that could bring on the death penalty.
That's an interesting point. The UK has a history of, and a lot of European nations do, of not honoring extradition to countries where the death penalty is in place. It's crazy.
I do have the indictment in front of me, and just to confirm, it is one count.
Yeah, one
of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion.
Yeah.
And what's the jurisdiction on that?
The U.S. government, Alexandria, Virginia, Eastern District of Virginia.
Yep.
Okay, so he's got one count right now in the United States.
Yep. Assange's lawyer, Jennifer Robinson, said they would be fighting the extradition request. She said it set a, quote, dangerous precedent, unquote, where any journalist could face U.S. charges for, quote, publishing truthful information about the United States, unquote. She said she had visited Assange in the police cells where he thanked supporters and said, quote, I told you so, unquote.
He did 2 days ago, was it?
Yep. Assange had predicted that he would face extradition to the U.S. if he left the embassy. After his arrest, the 47-year-old Australian national was initially taken to a central London police station before appearing in court. Dressed in a black suit and black polo shirt, he waved to the public gallery and gave a thumbs up. He pled not guilty to the 2012 charge of failing to surrender to the court.
Right, so he's got to get through the court system in the UK, and then he'll probably face an extradition hearing, and who knows how long they can drag that out. Certainly, they in New Zealand, Kim.com has been dragging that one out for a long time. The U.S. government's been trying to get him for years after raiding his home with like a helicopter attack SWAT team.
Oh, it was crazy.
I would expect the UK government to drop their charge so he could be extradited immediately if he is extradited.
Well,
just a guess.
When big governments all work together, amazing things can happen, and it will fall whichever way the U.S. wants it to fall.
Amazing things like destroying freedom.
Exactly. 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
Many thought that a politician with a publicly inebriated lifestyle would be unelectable. But Dave Tillis has proved them wrong, winning over voters by loudly rambling on about issues they care about.
Everybody's got to know that drunks are Americans, and we love America! And we want to make it awesome! Oh my God, let's do this! Let's be a senator! I love you guys!
Tillis' total fearlessness and lack of inhibition seemed to speak to voters. This week, those supporters had something to celebrate as Senator Tillis proposed his first piece of legislation, the All Bus Stops Should Have Shelters bill.
But does that mean you deserve to wake up in the snow? Hell no. Let's make a shelter on all bus stops. Ow! This idea is genius!
This is the Onion News Network.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733 if you would like to give us a call. If you don't like to use telephones, because some people are like that, they like to use computers to communicate, we can do that too through our Discord servers, discord.lrn.fm. It'll tell you how to basically load up a program on your phone or on your laptop, get your high-speed internet connection and a good microphone, and you will sound like you are right here in the studio with us. That's discord.lrn.fm. And I also wanted to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything Bitcoin related. Bitcoin.com can help you choose a Bitcoin wallet, buy Bitcoin, and show you where you can spend it. You can also read the latest news or engage with the community on the Bitcoin forums. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. So we've been talking about Julian Assange and what he has been going through. To recap, Julian Assange has been arrested. He has been basically booted out of the Ecuadorian embassy in London and taken by the UK authorities, where he has been charged with basically missing a court date. They've charged him with that. He has pled not guilty, and now he will face extradition to the United States, where we learned today he will face one single charge, and that has to do with conspiracy
to commit computer intrusion.
Conspiracy to tell the truth.
Yes. So basically what he did was to try to work with Chelsea Manning, and I had this same blank today when I was trying to explain all this to my girlfriend. I kept saying Chelsea Manning. I'm like, God, I can't believe I can't remember. It's Bradley.
It was
Bradley Manning at the time, but I could not remember that. It's just Chelsea. That's what I know her as now.
According to the indictment, it says here that on or about March 8th of 2010, Assange agreed to assist Manning in cracking a password stored on U.S. Department of Defense computers connected to the Secret Internet Protocol Network, a United States government network used for classified documents and communications.
So
interesting.
But what does that even mean? Does it say in the course of an email or in some communication, Bradley Manning saying I can't get into this particular file, and Julian Assange saying, well, if you've got like a hash password, send it to me and maybe I can do it. Maybe that's it.
He probably just ran crack on the thing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know I don't know what Bradley's level of knowledge is. I don't know why, or what Manning's level of knowledge was. I don't know why she wouldn't have. I don't know what to do with historical pronouns. I don't know if I'm supposed to say he when I'm referring to a time before the change.
Manning.
But anyway,
Manning.
Private Manning.
Yep. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Damn those pronouns.
Manning from the indictment, who had access to the computers, was also using the computers to download classified records to transmit to WikiLeaks. Army regulations prohibited Manning from attempting to bypass or circumvent security mechanisms on the government information systems and from sharing personal accounts and passwords. The portion of the password Manning gave to Assange to crack was stored as a hash value in a computer file that was accessible only by users with administrative-level privileges. Manning did not have those privileges and used special software, namely a Linux operating system.
That Linux operating system was Tails.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Tails rocks.
To access the computer file and obtain the portion of the password provided to Assange. Why don't you explain for folks what Tails is?
Yeah, I'm going to have to Google it real quick to get the name exactly right, but it's Tails.
Well, I'll give you a short. Tails is a security-based Linux operating system, I believe it usually is run off a USB drive, and it sounds like they hadn't encrypted their hard drive.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he probably just rebooted under Tails and then was able to read the hard drive on the computer directly, regardless of any permissions that might have been on the computer. This is not an uncommon mistake. A lot of people think their computers are awful secure and don't even realize that anybody with a USB can walk up to the machine and log right in.
Yeah, depending on how secure they are. We are talking about U.S. government protected devices, protected by our military. So one can expect these to not be well secured.
Well, clubbing people to death doesn't require that much mental acuity, but maintaining computer security does.
What I was looking for was TAILS stands for the Amnesiac Incognito Live System. That's what TAILS stands for.
Gotcha.
And basically what it is it's a operating system, a Linux system you can load onto a USB drive, plug it in, and boot
basically
from
any
scratch.
computer. You can walk into the library, you can walk into a friend's house,
as long as they don't have the USB stuff locked down.
Right.
Through either some technical measure or, as we used to do in IT, squirt some Elmer's glue in the USB ports, which works fine too. But there was none of that, so using TAILS. Coincidentally, this TAILS was also used by Edward Snowden. This is what he was using to gain admin access to different machines, and that became news after I was selling USB drives with TAILS on them because I love the idea of TAILS. And I'm like, wow, well, people will probably buy this, so I would...
How many do you have?
What's that?
How many do you have? Do you have like thousands of these?
No, I would make them to order.
Oh, gotcha.
Which meant I would sit there and go through it.
Because there is a bit of a process of getting it installed.
But I thought it was really cool that this thing that I had been doing for a couple of years because I thought it was a great idea, that turned out to be what Edward Snowden had been doing. So I was like...
It's nice when the heavy hitters choose the same tools that you do.
It was very good.
That's why I run Linux.
At the time he entered into the agreement, Assange knew that Manning was providing WikiLeaks with classified records containing national defense information of the United States. Assange was knowingly receiving such classified records from Manning for the purpose of publicly disclosing them on the WikiLeaks website. And then they give an example of, in 2010, Manning and Assange discussing the value of Guantanamo Bay detainees' assessment briefs. And in March of 2010, before entering the password cracking agreement, Manning told Assange that she was, they're saying she here, she was, quote, throwing everything she had on GTMO at Assange now. Manning also said, quote, after this upload, that's all I really have got left, to which Assange replied, curious eyes never run dry in my experience. Manning used a DoD computer to download the Department of State cables that WikiLeaks later released publicly. So do we even know if he actually did successfully crack this password, or just he tried to?
Not in what I read.
Yeah.
He conspired to.
I see. That's all they need.
He talked to one other guy, and the U.S. government loves to do this when it comes to prosecutions. They love to use words like conspiracy, that you threaten to do something. That's what RICO is.
Absolutely. That's how it came about.
Yeah, and the conspiracy law does require that at least one concrete action be taken in furtherance of the conspiracy. So it's not just talk.
He took
that would probably be sufficient, I think.
Well, we'll debate whether or not that meets the basically, since we're not lawyers, we can talk about this stuff all day long. 855-450-FREE.
And take your calls.
This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power, but there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. If you would like to take part in our conversation, we'd love to talk to you. We've been talking about Julian Assange and the troubles he is facing in the UK after being kicked out of, removed from the Ecuadorian embassy in London, and talking about some of what we know so far. And I think it's pretty clear that there's a lot we still do not know, but undoubtedly more will be coming out about that. Ian, you've been telling us a little bit about the actual charges that he has been facing.
Just one.
Yeah,
so far.
To be clear, that is one single charge, and a couple people are saying, a couple news organizations are saying this is so they can avoid this becoming a First Amendment case, saying no, we're not involving the freedom of the press. We're not trying to infringe upon anything like that. We just want to make sure that this man is charged and pays his price for talking about cracking a single password, which seems to be the gist of it.
I mean, but frankly, I mean, if he actually cracked the password and if the law was actually just, he would be guilty. If, for example, somebody was trying to break into a computer owned by a virtuous sole proprietor of a business, and I was working for that guy and I asked somebody else to help me break into his computer so I could steal something from it or copy something from it that was private, then certainly he would have committed a crime if he knew that's why I wanted the password cracked. So now, if the facts are as alleged, and that's a big if because the government lies.
Oh, yeah.
But if the facts are as alleged, then he would technically be guilty of breaking the law. And that's when we enter jury nullification territory. That's when it's time for people to say, sure, he broke the law, but he was justified in breaking the law because on a greater harms defense.
Right.
Letting the United States get away with
murder
of journalists,
covering it up
with
civilians,
cover-ups, with corruption, and with war crimes. We're talking war crimes. So really what should be going on is if the World Court had any balls, they would be protecting Julian Assange from the United States government, at least until they could determine if this is the equivalent of the mafia trying to silence a witness, which is what I see going on.
Speaking of RICO,
I was irritated by the end of that.
You were. I like when you get like that. But we're going to go to the phones where we've got Richie in New York. Richie, you're on Free Talk Live.
Okay, you're not Richie DuPont, are you?
Hello.
Oh, God.
Hi, gentlemen.
That's the snitch.
I got Chris, Rich, and Ian there.
That's correct.
What's up?
Okay, hi guys. I'm
Hey.
You're on the air.
I'm trying to thank you. I'm trying to collect my thoughts because it's so the
Collect the
Julian
whole
Assange
set.
thing to me is very it's a very big news.
It is.
By the way, I know a lot about Linux and BSD, and when you talk about jailing and Rich, basically, I want to say to him is in Linux, that means you can't change root. And I think you will agree. In BSD, they call it jailing. So I know a little bit about that stuff, but I called, I think, to address a greater issue, and I would love to hear from Greg from New York, who I haven't heard in a while.
Okay.
I listen intermittently, though. Yeah, and I would consider myself libertarian at heart, but I'm I guess, I don't know, independent. Meaning anything.
What's the
so
issue?
you're libertarian at heart. What's wrong with your head?
A lot. And that has a lot to do with females, doesn't it?
Well,
in my circumstance.
Romances
Anyway,
and finances will drive you crazy.
There you go. So what's on your mind?
My math works good, but my I guess my heart kind of like.
All right, brother. You got to get to the point.
Okay. Capitalism versus efficiency. It requires efficiency. I'm trying to use, good general English. I don't want to play semantic jokes.
Okay.
And I don't want to get hung up, So I'm trying to be real honest about this.
Are you saying it works well when it is efficient?
I think it strives towards efficiency. It requires it.
I think.
In other words, for it to
success requires efficiency.
Yeah, there are a lot. He's saying that success requires efficiency. If you want to be a inefficient business, you can certainly do that. You just won't be a business long.
Well, by definition, a nonprofit organization is an inefficient business. In a way, it doesn't turn a profit, but somebody wants it to be doing what it's doing because they're donating to it.
True.
But even there, hold on, even there, the nonprofit still has other nonprofits it's in competition with for donor dollars.
Good point.
So, so it needs to be economically inefficient and even
efficient.
Yeah. Oh God, it's hard not to get into semantic games when with that particular word.
Right. There's a different measure.
Because there's a secular and an economic definition of efficient, and they're not the same thing.
Right, but there is operational efficiency and there's fiscal efficiency.
Okay,
and they don't have to be the same, and different organizations may have different goals. Go ahead, Richie.
So what's the import of that?
Okay, so my for the efficiency in order it drives. I'm trying to make the connection that I had in my head. Hold on. If I say to you, the greater few have much more than the greater many.
The greater few.
And again, I'm not trying to play. Yeah,
much more. So you're talking about like the 1%. You're talking about the wealth that's collected in the hands of a very small number of people. And are you going to say that that's capitalism and that's how it works out?
No. I'm just saying that the play on words about the word greater used in that sentence. The greater few have much more than the greater many.
Yeah,
The greater few can be seen as greater, as in they're great people, as in leaders.
They could
the
be.
greater many can be seen as quantitatively, as in so many people.
Well, the other thing is great can also be used in the in the sense of large.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really the definition you're looking for there. You can become large by doing good things, and you can become large by doing bad things, criminal things. Most of the time we prefer they do it the first way.
Support? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Doesn't each one require the support of, getting back to the efficiency thing.
Here's what I'd recommend for you, man.
Requires competitiveness versus collaboration and competition is basically the opposite of collaboration and cooperation. That's what I'm trying to say.
I would disagree. I would say that a pursuit of efficiency will lead to the use of cooperation if and only if that cooperation is efficient.
I'm going to go a little deeper, and I'm just going to say that he doesn't like the 1%. I think at some level he believes that the 1% is a byproduct of a capitalist system.
See, I think you're making some assumptions there.
I'm having
based on his introductory remarks because I didn't really understand the question, and the suggestion that I would make is what I do before I call into a talk show is I write down a brief statement of what I intend to say, and I try to fill in the digression later, because brevity is the soul of wit, and we can't understand the question if it's not brief.
Yeah, figure it out. Call in then.
855-450-FREE, and let us know what you think. What are your thoughts on capitalism? What are your thoughts on socialism? What are your thoughts on Julian Assange and the U.S.'s efforts, which seem to have paid off for them, in getting him back so they can charge him? 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. We'd love to hear from you. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. Load a little client on your PC or on your smartphone, load an app, use your microphone and your high-speed internet, and you will sound like you are right here in the studio. I'm Chris. We're joined with Ian and Rich Paul. Oh, I remember who you are, Rich. I know you.
Sorry. Usually we all round robin the thing.
I know, but I'm trying to mix it up.
Little stoned world.
I'm trying to throw you off. So I like when Rich is a little high in here, because then I can just try to throw him off all night long.
That implies that you've seen me here not high.
That's true. That would imply that I've ever seen you not high.
That's probably not true, because I didn't do any shows the 1 week that I was out on bail and actually being drug tested and wanted to stay out of jail.
Oh, gosh. We've been talking Julian Assange, and we have a caller from Texas. Daryl, you're on Free Talk Live, and I think Daryl might want to talk about this too. Daryl, you're on the air.
Yes, you're talking about the military's IT security. Well, I used to, when I retired from the Navy, I actually worked for NMCI for a little bit, Naval Marine Corps Intranet, and all the Navy and Marine Corps computers were encrypted, and this is about the time that Bradley Manning thing was coming out on the news. And maybe actually I started working on before that came out, I think. And yeah, I do know that the Navy and Marine Corps stuff has always been encrypted since I can remember. I don't know when they started encrypted, that I don't know. But what was really interesting is we had someone a civilian worker. She worked for the Army, ended up working for the Navy, and I was setting up her account for initial login, and she was telling me how much better the Navy's IT security was better than the Army's at that time.
Well, I can tell you from my own personal experience, I was in the U.S. Army in the early 80s, and I worked with all branches of government. So we worked with, the Navy guys and the Air Force guys and the Marine guys. I can say the Navy and the Air Force guys were head and shoulders above the Army guys, like myself. They were head and shoulders above the Marine guys that we worked with. So what I have would back that up. My question would be whether transmissions were encrypted and, encryption was used on the network itself. The question is whether data at rest, meaning that data that just sits on a hard drive, has been encrypted, which tends to slow down a computer.
Mm-hmm. Having been an MIS man, having been an MIS director, I would add one thing to that, which is computers always do what you tell them, but people don't. So in your experience, how good is policy compliance in military IT? Because a lot of security breaches are caused by non-compliance with policies that would have prevented the breach.
That's a good question. I mainly was at at the service desk, but I did see some people do some really stupid things. Most compliance was generally good because first off we forced it because we turned off people at that time because of a thumb drive took down one of the ship's nipper systems, unclassified system on one of the ships.
Mm-hmm.
One of my guys who I worked with was on the ship in the Navy when that happened. He was actually on the ship it happened to, and it was someone with a thumb drive. So that's when I started saying, okay, no more thumb drives for the Navy. The Marine Corps stuff was so sensitive about thumb drives and stuff that we had a guy who was remoted into someone else's computer doing a fix, and the guy plugged something he wasn't supposed to, and instead of flagging the guy who did it, it flagged the guy who was remoted in, and they had to work with the Marine Corps, what they call McNOSC, to tell him what happened so they could get him his credentials back.
Well, it sounds like he had to jump through some hoops to get into the computer that contained the files, because if he had just rebooted from a USB stick and gotten root on the target machine, he would have just downloaded the files. He wouldn't have had to download the password file. So there's more than one step involved here.
Yeah, and I think to Rich's point, were all the procedures and being followed. My experience has been people will follow any policy you put in front of them as long as it doesn't slow down how long it takes them to log in or do anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one other thing about Julian Assange being charged, first off, Julian Assange is not a U.S. citizen. Two, Julian Assange was not in the United States when he did that, so I'm wondering, why do they have the ability to charge a guy who wasn't in the U.S. and is not a U.S. citizen?
Well,
there's an interesting question.
Thank you, Daryl. Thanks for the call.
Related to that, which was raised by the ACLU, which is if the United States can arrest a foreign journalist for breaching its information security laws, then can North Korea arrest an American journalist for violating their laws and disclosing their classified information?
Yes, as long as they've got another country that's willing to extradite.
Right.
Now, it's going to be harder for North Korea to get extradition from a place like the United States. But on the other hand, if that journalist were to set foot into North Korea, they certainly could arrest him. I mean, I tend to agree.
It seems like after this precedent, it would be more difficult for the United States to deny extradition if a foreign government was demanding that somebody be extradited. The United States can't say, well, we can't extradite a journalist for that. That would be wrong.
I think they can say whatever they want.
Because they've just demanded that the same thing be done.
Yeah, but that's not it's not unusual for government to be completely hypocritical.
That's okay.
I mean,
true,
we're talking about people, right? We're talking about people.
Sorry, I had my MIS hat on there for a minute, and I was trying to think logically. I got to go back to my government hat.
But again, when we start talking about these cases and you say, well, that's inconsistent. How could they do this over here while they do that over there? Because they're going to do whatever works for them at a given moment. They're going to, and you're going to see things like that. Right. The U.S., I guarantee you, in your lifetime,
consistently inconsistent.
Whatever furthers their power and arbitrary rule over others.
And there will be, sometime in my lifetime, there will be a case where someone is charged by some other country with doing exactly what Julian Assange did, and the U.S. will vigorously defend them. They will vigorously do that. Mm-hmm. They will deny everything.
No, if it's somebody that did it to Russia, then it's totally fine. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's not going to be an issue.
And for that matter, I mean, people talk about Russian meddling in the election from releasing true information, but how many elections does the United States interfere with every year, or in the average year? Hundreds, I'm sure. Both local elections and foreign elections, I would bet.
We've got a great history of this too. I mean, this is almost the national sport. Go back to Chile and like things we were doing with the earliest versions of the CIA. In the 40s and the 50s, we were having fun in the banana republics.
Oh, yeah.
What did we need? What raw material did we need from a particular country? We'll get somebody in there friendly to us.
And once you've got people in place who are willing to do that to a foreign population to subvert their elections, what moral restraint is there against their then manipulating local elections? What happens when the CIA sees a candidate that they think would be bad for national security? Do they feel they have the right to manipulate that election the same way they would a foreign election of somebody who was bad for American interests?
I can't tell if you're pitching us like the plot line of your new novel, or if this is the plot line of a history you're writing.
I think this is a plot line of history. Okay. I think this is what's. I think this is what has happened. I think after World War II, the United States government was filled of people who were absolutely amoral in their pursuit of anti-communism.
Oh yeah,
and I think that having done that, I think they subverted the news media in the interests with the rhetoric of national interest, and then I think they switched all of that stuff to be used to control the domestic population.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly accurate summary of what we did in the post World War II era. It has, the problem is it hasn't stopped. It hasn't even slowed down. It's probably increased in speed. And it is what it is. And I don't want anyone to sit, well, see, that's what Trump does, all this stuff. Well, let's talk about Julian Assange. That happened under Obama, right? I think some of Assange's stuff started under Bush. And these things are going to keep going on.
And Trump said nice things about WikiLeaks, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do wonder if Trump's just took him to find out what he knows about Hillary Clinton.
And then he's going to let him go?
But then he's a dead man.
Trump or Assange?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for hour number 2 of Free Talk Live. We're going to discuss, we'll keep talking a little bit more about Julian Assange. We got some phone calls to take. We look forward to that. 855-450-FREE.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with 2 beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please, don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,299. Silver at $15.03. And Bitcoin is trading around $5,064. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is in custody. That happened Thursday following a raid on the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where Assange was arrested. According to a news release from the Department of Justice, Assange is charged with computer hacking conspiracy for allegedly working with U.S. Army soldier at the time, Chelsea Manning, to leak documents. The Free Thought Project reports that Assange was in handcuffs when he was brought out of the embassy. And as he was being dragged from the embassy, he managed to grab a book, Gore Vidal, History of the National Security State. As he was shoved into a van, Assange held the book facing forward so that it could be seen by the camera. According to the report from Free Thought Project, the book was written by Vidal and the Real News Network senior editor Paul Jay. It explains how the United States established the massive military-industrial security complex and the political culture that gave us the imperial presidency. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. During a day of fundraisers and rallies across Texas, President Donald Trump signed 2 executive orders intended to speed up the approval process for oil and gas projects. The anti-media reports the orders also limit states' ability to intervene in the projects. One of Trump's executive orders is aimed at streamlining the approval process for energy infrastructure that crosses international borders. Trump said pipelines, roads, and railways along the border will take no more than 60 days to be approved or denied, and that the decision will now come directly from the president himself. The order changes previous rules which gave the Secretary of State the authority to issue permits for cross-border pipelines and similar infrastructure, a process that has, in some cases, taken years. Trump blamed the delay of pipeline projects on states like Washington and New York for restrictive policies on oil and gas. He also blamed radical activists for slowing down the completion of pipeline projects around the nation, including the Dakota Access Pipeline. Amazon employs thousands of people to listen in on what people around the world are saying to their Alexa digital assistant. That's according to what is sure to be a congressional hearing-inspiring report by Bloomberg, which cites 7 people who have worked on the program. Activist Post reports that while their job is to help improve Alexa, which powers the company's line of Echo speakers, the team listens to voice recordings captured in Echo owners' homes and offices, which are then transcribed, annotated, and fed back into the software in order to try and improve Alexa's understanding of human speech for more successful interactions. The listening team is comprised of part-time contractors and full-time Amazon employees based around the world. Listeners work 9-hour shifts, with each reviewing as many as 1,000 audio clips per shift, according to 2 employees from Amazon's Bucharest office, located in the top 3 floors of the Romanian capital's Global Worth building, and bears no exterior sign advertising Amazon's presence. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
With weather conditions in the Sahara among the most brutal in the world, the desert is a place suitable only for collapsing, dying, and rotting. Starvation is just one of the many possible outcomes for the gazelle or desert elk. It could also suffocate in a sandstorm, collapse of dehydration, or be run over by a dune buggy. Only the vulture has the wherewithal to survive in this nirvana of death. They feed on the dead of the Sahara. Uniquely adapted to the rigors of desert life, the vulture usually dies of heart disease after becoming overweight from the feast of carcasses. The landscape of the desert is dominated by towering sand dunes made from millions of years of ground-up bones. Another day ends in the Sahara, Earth's largest, most uncomfortable tomb.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're in hour number 2 of our 3-hour show. We do 3 hours live. Let me think. Is it Mondays, Tuesdays? No, it's every day of the year. You want to tune in on Thanksgiving? We're here. You want to tune in on New Year's Day? We may be a little hungover, but we'll be here anyway. You can join us and take part in the show by calling 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And let us know what you think. We've been talking about Julian Assange and the troubles he is facing now that he has been booted out of the Ecuadorian? I don't know.
I think either one would work.
I think so, too. And this is Chris. I'm in studio, joined by...
I'm Ian.
And I'm Rich Powell, Pope Indigent to the Church of the Invisible Hand.
There you go. But Julian Assange is no longer I guess he was a guest of the Ecuadorian government, residing in an Ecuadorian embassy in London, and he has been shuffled loose his mortal coil within that.
What? They killed him?
I'm being a little overly dramatic there. He's been turned loose.
Oh, okay.
And turned loose means they're going to get him back to America, and God knows what the U.S. government will do.
Turned loose directly into the arms of the UK police.
Yeah, that's not turned loose. That's handed over.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big distinction there.
Yeah. If he had been turned loose, I'm pretty sure the Russians would have been happy to come and get him.
Yep, and we would not be having...
I don't know. How did he end up in the Ecuadorian embassy instead of the Russian? I would have gone to the Russians just on the base. Did the Russians... No, he was there before Manning. Manning split, right? Was Assange already in the embassy?
Assange was there in 2012, and I'm trying to remember. Are you talking about Edward
when did
Snowden?
When did Manning go on the Snowden? I'm sorry.
Yes, Snowden.
When did Snowden go on the run?
I think that was after Julian Assange.
Okay, it was after Assange was in the embassy, because I heard of Assange when Assange was free. I don't know when he went into the embassy, though.
You bet. Hey, we're going to go to the phones where we've got Vernon in New Orleans. Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Okay, so in other news, today the United States military is forcing anyone that has identified themselves as a transgender to they have to have medical proof that they suffer from what's called gender dysphoria in their file by tomorrow, or they will have to continue to serve in the military under the sex which they were assigned at birth. So I was fascinated by this when I heard of this, and I don't even know if y'all ever heard of gender dysphoria, but apparently it is some sort of a officially recognized kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, gender dysphoria is it's the medical term for being transgender, and I don't know if it's accepted by all transgender people. I know that there are transgender people who use that term to refer to themselves. I would imagine that's a matter of some debate.
I have the Wikipedia definition here. Gender dysphoria, or GD, is the distress a person experiences as a result of the sex and gender they were assigned at birth. In this case, the assigned sex and gender do not match the person's gender identity, and that would be how they feel, right? And the person is transgender. Evidence from studies of twins suggests that gender dysphoria not only has psychological causes, but may have biological causes as well.
Let's not trivialize it and say how they feel, because it's not so much a matter of how they feel as I understand it. My understanding is that what transgender people are saying is that they've developed, they're in a masculine body, for example, but have developed a feminine personality. So it's deeper than how they feel. It's their personality. It's who they are. Like if you read about people who suffer from multiple personality disorder, okay? Sometimes some of the personalities will be female and some of the personalities will be male. Okay? So imagine if you only had one personality, but it happened to be a male one, and you were in a female body. How do you deal with that?
But should we have a medical diagnosis to actually officially recognize that instead of just our own word? I mean, to me, I think it's rather offensive that the federal government is requiring these people to have to get this kind of diagnosis, basically, in order to continue serving in the military.
Yeah, I mean,
on the sex
it's akin to saying that I have to say that I have what is the disorder where that they made to medicalize libertarianism? Oppositional defiant disorder.
Yes,
it's like it's like making me confess to having oppositional defiant disorder in order to register as libertarian to vote.
Right. The silliness of this in the fact that what gets lost here is people that are in the military are there voluntarily. They've chosen that life. They have volunteered, and it seems like if you're volunteering to do something, you're giving someone else control over you. In
the military, more so than normal. If you're volunteering for a job, you can quit.
Yeah.
With the military, as you know, it's 8 years minimum? Half of it's the ready reserves nowadays, and half's active duty.
It depends, and you can go in for a couple of years, but the thing is you're there voluntarily, and I think, well, first of all, read the contract, because you're going to find all sorts of things like this in there that you had no idea were there. Any final thoughts, Vernon?
No, I think a lot of people joined during the Obama administration because that don't ask, don't tell thing went out the window, and then Obama, says like, okay, you can be whatever sex you want, who cares? Just join, and so they joined, and now Trump's reversed all of that, and so they joined, possibly under false pretenses, I think.
Well, I won't doubt that, but I will say also that, when you join, when you say that I agree to no longer, I'm basically giving up most of my constitutional rights for whatever my superior officers tell me to do, that you shouldn't be surprised by that sort of thing.
Right, you are literally waiving your rights when you join the military. And anyway, go ahead, Rich.
Think about how you've read, I'm sure, Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Okay.
Heinlein.
Now, the fascinating thing about Starship Troopers to me is that they treated the men and the women in the military exactly the same way.
Yes.
And this wasn't reflected in the movie, but according to Heinlein in the book, the military was about 15% female. And except that, or at least the mobile infantry, I think it was higher among starship captains.
Yes, pilots were more predominantly female.
So maybe what the military should do is stop recognizing the concept of gender entirely.
That's
Maybe
an interesting
they should
proposal.
just say, we don't care what gender you are.
You qualify at, this level, whatever.
And you just have to be tough enough, A, to defend yourself, and B, to defend your country. And we don't care what's hanging between your legs, because that's not an issue.
I think I was just going to say, I think that somebody else brought it up. I don't know if it was on the air or where it was, but somebody else pointed out, why not just get rid of it from driver's licenses too? Like, what's the use of that information?
That was me at the ACLU meeting, actually, because they were talking about adding a third gender, and I'm like, why add a third one? Why not just... I mean, it doesn't matter unless they're putting you in jail, and if they want to know which jail to put you in, they can ask you.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things. I don't know. I think that part of this, and it's interesting that both sides bring this on. You have the right, which is vehemently insisting that if you're going to say you're transgender, we're going to make you jump through all these hoops. Yet you also have people on the left that have been demanding equal rights until those equal rights become just not of interest. They don't want to actually. They don't want them. They just want the idea of it. They want equality on their terms. 855.
It's symbolic of their fight against reality.
Exactly. Very well put. 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. In studio, we have myself, Chris.
Hey, I'm Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And we've been talking about Julian Assange and his loss of what little freedom he had living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, and now being held by the British, who are promising to promptly turn him over to the U.S. government so the U.S. government can try him for what sounds to us like trumped-up charges.
Trumped up?
I knew someone would say that. Yeah, not really referring to President Trump, but Trump is, hey, he's the guy. The buck stops here, right? So,
yeah, he could have stopped this.
He could indeed. But
does anybody, was this his thing? I mean, has he?
No, they've been working on this for years.
It sounds like he, what he said was, I don't know anything about WikiLeaks, which obviously Trump, like Jesus, speaks in parable. So obviously he knows things about WikiLeaks. I assume that he meant he knew nothing about these arrests.
Maybe that's what he meant. But Trump was basically saying, "Come on, WikiLeaks, what else do you have on Hillary?" This was during the campaign. What else do you got?
So
I want to see
that's
WikiLeaks
what I was saying.
everything.
So obviously he knows that WikiLeaks exists. He's made the statement, "I love WikiLeaks."
Right.
Now the interesting thing is, can a president pardon an act before a true bill is returned?
This may be the presidency where we find out the answer to that question.
I don't think Trump's gonna go out on any limbs for Assange.
I don't either.
Well, on one hand, it would tend to reinforce the conspiracy theorists that said that Assange is just a Trump stooge. Although, I don't believe it's true, because if you look at the history of WikiLeaks, it's completely nonpartisan.
Right. They attack everybody.
They embarrass the Democrats and the Republicans and even the Ecuadorians when he was living in the Ecuadorian embassy.
He didn't hold back.
He will embarrass anybody, and that may be his undoing.
Well, just to be
maybe
clear,
that was the one hand that he shouldn't have. Although he wasn't running WikiLeaks
He wasn't
at that
running
time.
WikiLeaks
That's
for like
right.
the last
You've pointed
6
that
months
out
or something
before.
like
I
that.
forgot that.
There's some amount of time recently that he has not been in charge. Understandably, because he's been restricted in this semi-prison of the embassy.
This was in March. They were basically saying, we demand that you take better care of your cat, and you have to do something else.
They let his cat in there?
He had a cat in there, and they were basically made a big deal about all these threats against him. If you ever want to have internet access again. So he's been really completely cut off from the world, and the idea that he could, orchestrate anything from behind the walls of the Ecuadorian embassy is silly, Not saying
Wasn't he allowed out on a balcony? Haven't I seen photos of him out on a balcony?
Anytime he was speaking to the press or anything like that, he could do that, and still remain within the grounds. But the idea that he was really coordinating anything in the last 6 months or a year, it's a pretty tough one to swallow.
Well, certainly somebody had to have been intercepting all of his communications. I can't imagine the Ecuadorians weren't bugging him.
That was the British government.
The British were.
Yeah.
Everybody bugs everybody.
Well, I mean, there was an article we read, I forget where it was from, but whatever, the journalist was allowed to go and meet with Assange in the Ecuadorian embassy and said that it was super creepy. Like the whole time they were there, they were constantly being monitored. They couldn't go into any room where there wasn't a camera set up by the embassy people. So he was constantly under watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but why?
Same way talking to your lawyer in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But,
right, you just have to believe them that they're not going to listen in because every single room is wired for sound.
Yeah, they certainly have the ability to listen to your attorney-client conversation.
And I guarantee you there are people listening right now, they're going, well, Julian Assange, I mean, he spilled U.S. secrets. These were classified documents. I mean, all the communiques with all our embassies all over the world, you are missing the point. If you believe that he just was an evil guy, spying on the U.S., turning over secrets, you have to realize that the U.S. had secrets that they were trying to keep that were against U.S. law. That's the issue. It's whether the U.S. government follows its own constitution. And thank God for people like Julian Assange who call BS on this stuff. And they say everybody should know what you're doing.
And this has been going on for, Pentagon Papers. There's been so many examples of people who have been prosecuted and targeted for revealing the truth.
And, I take the position that anything that can be destroyed by the truth should be destroyed by the truth.
Absolutely.
And if the truth brings governments down, let them fall. If the truth brings the banks down, let them fall. If the truth brings the churches down, let them fall.
I'm with you.
The truth will set us free. If we ever get it out.
If we can ever get it. And if you're not locked in a cell in Great Britain, which is where Julian Assange is right now, waiting to find out if he's going to move to a new cell in the United States so they can debate whether they can put him away for another 10 or 12 years. That's going to be the debate. It's insanity. This coming from the BBC. After his arrest, the 47-year-old Australian national was initially taken to a central London police station before appearing in court.
It said that he pleaded not guilty, but then didn't it say like 2 paragraphs below that he was actually sentenced or not sentenced, but found guilty?
He pled not guilty to doing that. And
to not showing up for court.
Right. He pled not guilty to the 2012 charge of failing to surrender to the court, finding him guilty of that. District Judge Michael Snow and said Assange's behavior was, quote, the behavior of a narcissist who cannot get beyond his own selfish interests.
So this is done. He's been found guilty. He's now just awaiting sentencing for the UK charge.
Correct. He was then sent to Southwark Crown Court for sentencing, where he faces up to 12 months in prison. The court also heard that during his arrest at the embassy, he had to be restrained and shouted, quote, this is unlawful and I am not leaving, unquote. Assange set up WikiLeaks in 2006 with the aim of obtaining...
I don't think we need to go through all
the
background.
I was just going to see if there was anything intriguing here that has come out.
So he's going to prison or jail or whatever they call it over in the UK for up to 12 months for simply missing a court date.
So basically a misdemeanor. The equivalent of the common law contempt of court charges that we've both had in Keene.
This was an actual charge. Essentially it's kind of like contempt, but it's basically
but it's misdemeanor level. They're not looking to put him away for another 12 years.
No, they want to give him a spanking though.
That they do.
I suspect he's going to get some prison time. Maybe it won't be the full 12 months. But.
Yep. So in your mind, was Assange, is he a traitor? Is he a hero? Let us know what you think. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. You can join in, take part in the show. We'd love to hear from you. But before we do, I do want to tell you about Edge Wallet. Are you familiar with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that are out there? Rich, have you heard of these
Have I heard of
amazing
cryptocurrencies?
things? Yes.
No, man.
No?
What's
Still
that?
happen? Well, cryptocurrencies are changing the world, and one of the best places to start is with the Edge Wallet. Edge Wallet is available on iOS and Android. This allows you a secure place to keep and store your cryptocurrencies. You can also buy, sell, and trade from the Edge Wallet. This is user-controlled, and you will own and control the keys to your own money. It supports Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and too many more to list.
I love that they have Monero. I think that is one of the coolest things.
Right, that is a huge step. For those of you who are not familiar with Monero, Monero is a privacy coin, and it is so much has gone into the development of Monero, it makes it almost impossible to code a wallet that supports it. It's been very, very difficult.
Because Monero wasn't based on Bitcoin. It's one of the few cryptos out there that started basically from scratch, and they did it differently. It's called CryptoNote. That's about all I know about it. It's different.
Yeah.
And programmers complain because it's hard to put Monero into things and get it working without a full node. Basically,
was the Zero Cash, not Zero Hash, but the Zcoin protocol was
that's Bitcoin originally, and then I think they based
they
that
modified
off
it.
of
Really?
Monero was all new. Edge Wallet comes from a veteran team. They've been building since 2014.
Right.
They advertise that they are secure in your freedom, and we agree. You can go to https.
Oh my God! Did you really just say that?
I did. I'm just going to say go to edge.app to find out more, or you can find it in the Android or iOS stores on your phone.
www.
No, I don't need to do that, but I do need to do :/ I'm just being silly.
Oh, wow.
Edge.app.
You're going to give us all cancer of the semicolon here.
This is a great wallet for people that are looking to get started with cryptocurrency, and even people like me that have been in it for a long time. It's the number one wallet that I use.
Yeah, and it's wallets are a necessary part for those of you who may not be familiar with this type of thing. If you're going to hold cryptocurrency, you have to have not a leather wallet like we would keep in our back pocket, but you have to have a digital wallet. And the problem is if you end up with 5 or 6 or 10 different cryptocurrencies, that used to mean 5 or 10 different wallets that you'd have to manage and juggle the keys around, and it was not easy.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. But you got solutions like Edge Wallet that do a very nice job of making that much simpler.
I've got some crypto-related news if you want to get into it.
Please.
PewDiePie. You ever heard of this guy?
He is the largest YouTuber, largest audience. He net worth is somewhere around $40 to $50 million from streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the number one channel on YouTube.
Referenced by the New Zealand shooter.
That's correct.
Whatever happened to him? I haven't heard word one out of New Zealand.
I don't know. We haven't been following it closely.
They were going to execute him, but they've instead banned all their guns, so there are no guns left to shoot him with.
Well, they probably don't have all the guns yet, but they are definitely cracking down there. According to Cointelegraph.com and I don't know how many other dozens, if not hundreds of websites. This is getting reported in mainstream public. I think Variety.com had an article about it. Newsweek had this, but we'll go to a cryptocurrency place for it. Cointelegraph.com. PewDiePie, the personality behind the most subscribed channel on YouTube, will start streaming on blockchain video platform DLive as of April 14th. So that's, I think, this Sunday. The firm announced in a press release on the 9th. DLive, a blockchain-powered broadcasting app that includes a reward system for content creators, will be, quote, the exclusive live streaming platform, unquote, for the famous Swedish YouTuber Felix Kjellberg, better known as PewDiePie, according to their press release. Now, think about this from a business perspective. This is a huge win for whatever DLive is and whoever's behind it. We don't know a whole lot about it right now. We're on there as of yesterday after we saw this news at dlive.lrn.fm because there's going to be a huge rush of people going to this platform. But they just poached the number one YouTuber over to their platform. What do you think it cost them?
Well, I think the promise, I think what PewDiePie sees is an opportunity to get away from the threat of demonetization. And basically what YouTube has been doing for the last couple of years has been going to a lot of their very successful content producers and saying, yeah, we're just paying you too much, so we're going to have to cut that back. We're going to cut that back. Or you said something on one of your streams that we just don't politically agree with. So
right,
we're
and that's
taking away all
one of the
your
things that
audience.
makes censorship so attractive for YouTube is if they censor popular people, they don't have to pay them. They
Right.
can just rob them blind.
Right.
So, it's a license to steal for them.
They can
But,
make money off of those personalities without having them be on their platform officially, right? Like there's a zillion videos of Alex Jones on YouTube that aren't on his channel, and YouTube's monetizing every last minute of a lot of those things.
Yes.
But Jones doesn't get any of it.
Well, Alex Jones could sue them for copyright infringement and probably win if he wanted to. And
I don't know. I mean, maybe he could. I don't know if that would put.
I
him
mean,
in
I
like
don't think he should because
Yeah.
I don't think these laws
Right.
should exist. Once you've released something,
Yeah.
it should be public.
Well, I mean, to Jones's
Right.
credit, I think that Jones has sort of always been known for putting out his videos publicly and for free. So
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
think
he
that
doesn't want to
would.
do anything that's going to prevent his message from being being circulated,
And
that's good.
driving watchers back to his site. I mean,
That
it's
too.
okay. There's value in free sometimes.
But this is a huge move. Now, somebody
Yeah.
called in last night. Right, the reason why this got brought up last night briefly was because the first call out of the gate was actually about it. Big Loaf, and I kind of jumped in for a moment to say something to it. Big Loaf had called in. He's a frequent chatter in our Discord server, and pointed out that he does not believe that this platform that PewDiePie is going to is actually decentralized. And he made a strong argument. And so, like, what I'd been saying yesterday in my tweets and such about this was, allegedly decentralized or purportedly, I'd try to qualify because
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the code. I don't know I don't know if many people have. And Big Loaf's point was, you couldn't even get like a full node software. You couldn't get whatever it is that they're using to distribute. If they are, if it's out of open beta or whatever, I don't know. We couldn't find it. He couldn't find it.
I haven't found it either,
Well-
and I think it's important to note that at some point with any of these platforms, there's going to be somebody at the top who's going to make decisions. And you're going to have layers down from there.
Jones apparently has already been banned from DLive.
Yes,
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So they still,
Okay, so that if they won't let Alex Jones on, then I don't want. Even though I don't believe him, I don't agree with him. I
Sure.
think he's a good canary in the coal mine to say I'm not going to invest that much time or energy in DLive because if they're already banning people from the get, then it's
Well, I think he had
it's
a
going to
channel
go
and
downhill.
They got rid of him.
Yeah.
So DLive has
Yeah.
been around for over a year, as I understand it. They're just getting a lot of press coverage in the last 2 days.
Yeah. Well, getting a lot of press coverage, doesn't that generally mean, Facebook and Twitter got a lot of press coverage. The other people didn't. Don't they give press coverage to the people they're trying to drive you to?
Yeah, they could be doing that.
I don't know. I don't trust anything that comes out of the media.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, for our purposes, as I pointed out to Big Love, because he was, tooting at me on Mastodon over this as well over the last day, and it's like, look, I don't have to agree with everything a company does to utilize their platform, right? We're on Twitch, and Twitch has made some crappy decisions about some of their streamers. We're on DLive, and DLive isn't perfect, but at least they're trying something different, and we can get into a little bit more about what's going on.
Yeah, it
Come on.
sounds.
855 450 free. What do you think? Will you follow PewDiePie to DLive? This is Free Talk Live.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, It is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Complement your health with hemp-derived cannabinoid oil. We've always believed that the closer to Earth, the better it is for our bodies. Our hemp-derived cannabinoid oil is phytocannabinoid-rich, full-spectrum, and organically grown. Finally, hemp made easy, clean, and effective. GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203. That's right, we cut through the red tape. It's now available at GCNhemp.com or call 877-878-4203.
You've been hearing Dr. Wallach talking about 90 essential nutrients, keeping the body healthy. GCNteam.com now has Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets, 60 plant-derived minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, packed in a powerful tablet. But that's not it. 160,000 auric points, a knockout punch to free radicals. Call 877-878-4203 or go to GCNteam.com. That's 877-878-4203.
You can't win if you don't enter, and you actually can improve your chances of winning a prize drawing if you wrinkle up your entry blank. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com, and I speak from experience. Why this works: if they'll be spinning the drum before drawing, your entry blank will move around more than, and not adhere to, other perfectly flat entry blanks. And if they don't spin the drum and merely reach into a box full of other perfectly flat entry blanks, many of which are sticking together, yours will feel different to the person reaching in. When you win, act surprised. And if you're looking for work, this is a metaphor. For more tips on sticking out in a world where just too much blends into the blah, 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 hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. 855-450-3733, and we've been talking about all kinds of stuff. We spent a fair amount of the first hour discussing Julian Assange and the troubles that he is facing in the UK and most likely soon in the United States. We have also talked a little bit about DLive, a new streaming platform that just recently scored the #1 YouTuber, poached him, lured him away from YouTube. The guy was making I'm not sure if that was lifetime earnings of $40 to $50 million as YouTube's top streamer. But now he is with DLive, where you can also catch our show right now.
That's right.
We are on DLive at dlive.lrn.fm. And be sure to subscribe to us there. It's kind of cool. it sounds great. It looks great.
I got to say, right out the gate, the nice thing about what we did was, as soon as I saw this news, it was actually thanks to the chatters in the Discord server. I wouldn't have seen the story about PewDiePie necessarily.
See, now I posted that in one of our telegrams.
You did. You might have been a little bit later than them, but I'm not sure.
Impossible.
Either way.
Go ahead. Delude yourself.
The more times I see something, the more likely I am to look into it.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. That's how advertising works. I mean, when you hear a message enough times, the idea is eventually you'll remember it and then go and do something about it. Mm-hmm. And they say that I don't know, whoever they is, they say that the average person has to hear a message 21 times before they'll actually act on it. So
good.
Your pants are on fire.
I acted on this right away because, I figure you follow the big dog in this particular case. Right. And PewDiePie is a huge star. I've never actually seen him for more than, a couple seconds here and there on a clip or two. But
I have never.
Yeah. Last night, Angie was saying she loves him. She thinks he's funny, and Zarasta in our chat room thinks he's hilarious. And these are women that are way out of his demographic.
Right.
So purportedly. So he's a huge star, and I figure, all right, well,
what
let's
is
go
his
check this out.
demographic purportedly?
Young males.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to watch a guy play video games on the internet?
Yeah, he does, and I guess
I
it's
don't
a
have
number of
any
things.
idea who's going to watch a guy play video. Crazy people.
Hey,
millions of them, 92 million or something like that.
It's insane numbers. 855 450 free. If you can tell us what PewDiePie does, because none of us.
He plays video games.
Apparently,
I know what he does. I just don't watch.
Is there more to it? I've heard he does other stuff too.
Well, why don't we go next door after the show tonight and watch some PewDiePie and find out what he does? We can report back next week.
Well, I don't. You could probably watch recordings of it, but I don't know if he's live on DLive yet. Is he?
No. He starts on the 14th. So there's like this big build-up that's going on. Where he's put the announcement out on his YouTube channel, so now millions of people are seeing that, and there's a certain date for his first broadcast on DLive. So over the next few days, what we're going to see happen is a lot of his fans and others who see the news are going to check out this new platform, and we're already seeing that he's already got 100,000. I looked at his account earlier today; he's already got 100,000 followers. We're already, I think, past 100. We were at like 97 earlier today. So I mean, we've been there for 24 hours, and we're doing better on DLive day number 1 as far as views than we are doing on Twitch after a year.
The question I would ask PewDiePie if I had him here would be, did you get cash up front from the company for changing, or did you change because you have confidence in this new platform?
It's got to be cash, right? I mean, it's got to be.
Well, I wouldn't sacrifice something that had already made me $45 million
for
the hope of something else being purer or better. Well, I would want to see that I had money up front.
That, and the good news for him is
stock.
It's low risk for him,
right?
Because he's not closing his YouTube channel. He's just going to stop live streaming to his YouTube channel, so he can still take.
But that may affect his YouTube viewership, and if those viewers don't go to DLive, then he's lost.
I don't think that, and I know we got Gene the Christian Anarchist here, but I don't think that as far as viewers are concerned, as long as you've got new content coming to YouTube, he's going to not lose any significant amount of views.
Yeah, see, I don't know if it's like a football game where you got to watch the thing live when you watch a video game.
They have different ways that they're paying these guys out. We're going to go to Gene, the Christian Anarchist. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys, I want to talk about Julian.
Go ahead.
And Trump as well, because people seem to think that, or some people are speculating that Trump's going to rescue Julian and yada, yada, yada. And I don't think there's
no way
a snowball's chance in hell that Trump will ever do anything for Julian. Now, he sure used him during the campaign. Oh, I love WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks.
That's what he said.
He said it so many times how much he loved WikiLeaks. And
but that's just what we call pillow talk, baby.
So, but anyway, I think that Julian is in some, serious danger here. I think that they'll probably have him turned over very shortly. He'll have lawyers trying to fight it. But, I've said this since my experience fighting the IRS. And that goes back at least 20. Well, I started over 30 years ago, and I fought them for 20 years. And
did the law win?
Well, I finally gave in because we needed to get on with our business. So I guess in a way they won because I finally gave in. But what it boiled down to is I realized that these people are just lawless thugs, and it doesn't matter what the rules say. If you find a rule that says they can't do something because it's not correct,
right,
they're just going to ignore the rule and do it anyway. It doesn't matter to them what the rules say.
Well, it sounds to me like the law got your money and we got you, so I'd say the law lost.
Indeed. And sometimes they will change the rules, or they will simply have one of their courts interpret the law in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that most
allows
of the time
them to speak out of both sides of their mouth. Go ahead.
But most of the time they just ignore the law and just, you bring it up and they'll just say, overruled, and move on. That's it. So they don't really care.
And it's blatant. The Second Amendment. Oh, that doesn't really mean what it says. Well, yes, it does, because it's a contract.
Right.
The only time those rules ever mean anything to them is when they're applying them to us. And it's time for the mundanes to learn that there is no such thing as law. Law does not exist. It's a fallacy. The only thing they've got are tools they use to oppress the people. They don't follow those rules. In fact, I think it's one of the few things I believe it was George Bush, told the truth about when he said, talking about the Constitution, it's just a GD piece of paper.
Yeah,
is what he
what
said.
an honest moment, huh?
Yeah,
and that's and I agree with them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's just a piece of paper. It carries absolutely no weight at all.
You know who Lysander Spooner is?
Of course, but Lysander Spooner is my hero.
Oh, the Constitution has either authorized such government as we have had, or it has been powerless to prevent it. And either way, it's unfit to exist.
Well, that sounds like a modern thinker who would say something like that. When was that said?
That was said prior to the Civil War, because his primary issue was the abolition of slavery.
Yeah.
Lysander Spooner was my wake-up call when I read an essay on the trial by jury back in the 70s. I had to get it on paper, on a hardcover book, because we didn't have internet back then. So this is how I learned about liberty. And Lysander Spooner, I highly recommend everybody look him up, read what he said.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of good stuff.
Hey, Gene, thanks for your call. I appreciate it. Just this idea that the idea of the Constitution was to limit government. The idea was that these will be the restraints upon the federal government, and that'll work. It worked for maybe 15 minutes, a half hour, until they figured out that, well, we can't really do this.
And that's why the argument that the Constitution is a so-called living document is such nonsense, because the Constitution was a compact between the states.
Yes.
So one party to a compact doesn't get to say, well, this is a living document, so I'm only going to treat it as I want to treat it, because that's not how contracts work. That's not how compacts work.
And the idea of the living Constitution came about in the Progressive era. That was the age of Teddy Roosevelt, prominent Republican, and Wilson, a prominent Democrat. They were the proponents of this idea of a living document. Craziness.
We're gonna
crazy.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to burn it to the ground, and I'm going to roast marshmallows and cheer.
I hear you. 855 450 free. You'll stick around. You'll hear some more interesting stuff on Free Talk Live, 855 450 free.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Hey guys, it's Scott Bauer here, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Are you looking for a super hot stock tip? Here at Prosper, we are always looking for exciting opportunities in the markets. And right now, all my students are salivating over this stock we are watching. In fact, I've got this hot stock written down right here, and I'm about to text it to you for free. I just need to know where to send it. Simply text HOT to 48542, and I'll text it to you instantly. How do I know this stock is so hot? Well, I'm a former CBOE market maker for Amazon Options, former vice president of Goldman Sachs, and I have over 25 years of professional trading experience. I'm telling you, this stock is hot. But be warned, the stock may move soon, so you need to claim it before it does. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Message and data rates may apply.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,299, silver at $15.03, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,064. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is in custody. That happened Thursday following a raid on the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where Assange was arrested. According to a news release from the Department of Justice, Assange is charged with computer hacking conspiracy for allegedly working with U.S. Army soldier at the time, Chelsea Manning, to leak documents. The Free Thought Project reports that Assange was in handcuffs when he was brought out of the embassy. And as he was being dragged from the embassy, he managed to grab a book, Gore Vidal, History of the National Security State. As he was shoved into a van, Assange held the book facing forward so that it could be seen by the camera. According to the report from Free Thought Project, the book was written by Vidal and the Real News Network senior editor Paul Jay. It explains how the United States established the massive military-industrial security complex and the political culture that gave us the imperial presidency. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. During a day of fundraisers and rallies across Texas, President Donald Trump signed 2 executive orders intended to speed up the approval process for oil and gas projects. The anti-media reports the orders also limit states' ability to intervene in the projects. One of Trump's executive orders is aimed at streamlining the approval process for energy infrastructure that crosses international borders. Trump said pipelines, roads, and railways along the border will take no more than 60 days to be approved or denied, and that the decision will now come directly from the president himself. The order changes previous rules which gave the Secretary of State the authority to issue permits for cross-border pipelines and similar infrastructure, a process that has, in some cases, taken years. Trump blamed the delay of pipeline projects on states like Washington and New York for restrictive policies on oil and gas. He also blamed radical activists for slowing down the completion of pipeline projects around the nation, including the Dakota Access Pipeline. Amazon employs thousands of people to listen in on what people around the world are saying to their Alexa digital assistant. That's according to what is sure to be a congressional hearing-inspiring report by Bloomberg, which cites 7 people who have worked on the program. Activist Post reports that while their job is to help improve Alexa, which powers the company's line of Echo speakers, the team listens to voice recordings captured in Echo owners' homes and offices, which are then transcribed, annotated, and fed back into the software in order to try and improve Alexa's understanding of human speech for more successful interactions. The listening team is comprised of part-time contractors and full-time Amazon employees based around the world. Listeners work 9-hour shifts, with each reviewing as many as 1,000 audio clips per shift, according to 2 employees from Amazon's Bucharest office, located in the top 3 floors of the Romanian capital's Global Worth building, and bears no exterior sign advertising Amazon's presence. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
As Sao Paulo struggled to dig out after last week's devastating earthquake,
I'm just praying and helping.
One group was left with no one to care for them.
There is nowhere for these homeless dogs to go. There is no food to give them. There is no clean water. These dogs are going to starve to death.
I have to do the humane thing. I have to put these dogs down.
O'Brady Shaw is the only journalist compassionate enough to do what has to be done.
Put down 50 or 60 dogs today? I didn't want to.
Let me help you!
But their fate would have been much worse if I hadn't done it.
It's better this way.
O'Brady Shaw goes where other reporters won't and does the jobs other reporters can't.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Gut Check with O'Brady Shaw. Live from Sao Paulo. Tomorrow night, only on the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, hour number 3. We do 3 hours every night. And you can join us in studio at 855 450 free. Tonight we have myself, Chris.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Pope Indigent of the Church of the Invisible Hand.
Also known as
Rich Paul.
There we go. And I wanted to tell you about ForkFest. Did you miss ForkFest 2018? You may have never even heard of ForkFest 2018.
You forked up.
You forked up. We want to make sure you know about ForkFest 2019. Start planning now to attend ForkFest 2019 and join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 13th until June 18th for ForkFest 2019 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest is a fork of another popular camping party in the woods, and you're invited to come and create whatever experience you'd like others to have. ForkFest is decentralized, which means there's no one in charge. So it's up to you to create what happens, or you can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers. For more information and to connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or ForkFest forum, visit forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. And man, I hope I can get away for at least a day or two to get up there. It's the problem of owning one's own business.
It's shaping up to be...
have you considered just shutting down for a week?
It's hard to do that, though.
It's hard to do that, but, it's... Everybody's got to have some downtime.
Well, they take 2 days off a week.
Right. But 2 days off a week started happening after we've been in business for 3 years where we were open 6 days a week.
Yeah, and I heard Colleen had to twist your arm into it, too.
Well,
just about anything else you said, I would say, give me some money, I'll take care of that for you. But Pork Fest, no. Or Fork Fest, no. I'm going to be there. I ain't missing it for the world.
It's a good time. And the neat thing about it, and this was what I've always liked about other events, libertarian-minded, you will be presented with ideas that you will not hear anyone else. And I don't care if you're coming at the world from the left, if you're coming at the world from the right, if you're a diehard Democrat, diehard Republican, I think if you will open your eyes and open your mind, there's some things out there. There's more than just two choices in this world. It's not just Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah, Fork Fest to me, it reminds me of what Pork Fest once was, in that Pork Fest has become more centrally controlled and Fork Fest is a lot more open.
Yes.
You can do just about anything that is an initiating force there, and we're going to leave you alone. We're going to just let you do it. Don't irritate the property owner, but other than that, it's all good.
By the way, I heard there's a rumor. I don't know how true it is, because with Fork Fest, it's decentralized, so nobody's in charge of anything, so we don't really always know
just
exactly.
Talk to the boss.
Everything
there
that's
is
going
no boss.
on.
Right.
But everybody's the boss of their own selves and their own campsite and what they want to do there. I heard a rumor that the Big Gay Dance Party, which was originally scheduled to come back. This was one of the biggest features, the most popular, the most fun parts of the Porcupine Freedom Festival until it stopped when Buzz retired from throwing it.
Yeah.
I think in 2015 was her last year. I heard a rumor that it was scheduled for Pork Fest, but it may be moving to Fork Fest.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. See, I like that idea because, there's something to be said for a family-friendly Pork Fest, okay? Because I want families to be able to come in here, and including Christian families and families that are socially conservative. I want them to be able to come up here and go to Pork Fest and have a good time. But I also want people who want more of an adult experience, who want to see Porks Gone Wild. I want them to come up to Fork Fest, and I want them to have a good old time too. And there are some people that will really enjoy both environments if we do it that way. So this doesn't have to be a contention. This isn't a war. This isn't an either or. And if it's presented as a choice, it's a false choice.
Agreed. And the idea of, I just love the idea of a competitor.
Yes.
I like to see multiple events, and I like to see them competing for the same vacation time. And I think, for me, a decentralized event, something where there is nobody in charge, that has a lot of appeal. And for a lot of you out there, well, that sounds pretty anarchistic.
There's
no,
also
it's still on private property.
Illustration of how capitalism allows both competition and cooperation, because Fork Fest is actually a sponsor of Pork Fest, although for some reason that isn't reflected on the Pork Fest site right now. I think that's just a technical thing.
I wasn't going to talk about it tonight, but I can't let you say something that's no longer true. That is no longer true.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm very disappointed to hear that.
I was contacted after it was true for over a month. The Fork Fest logo was on the porkfest.com website.
Yep.
And it mysteriously disappeared a couple of days ago, and I reached out to find out, hey, what's going on? What happened to the logo? Johnson brought it to my attention. I didn't know it was gone. He said, hey, did you know the Fork Fest logo that he designed is gone from the website? And so I looked into it, because I was the person who did the sponsorship, but it could have been anybody who did the sponsorship, because, again, it's decentralized. And I don't want to hash out all the details on it here, but let's just say somebody within the Free State Project pulled the plug on that sponsorship. They decided they didn't want the money if it comes from Ian Freeman.
Wow.
Oh, well, I wonder if they would take it from Rich Paul.
Good question. I actually asked that question in response to the email that I received from Jason Sorens about this earlier today, who's the founder of the Free State Project. I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
Interesting.
Oh, that is so disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
I wasn't planning on bringing it up tonight, but since you said that, I didn't want you to.
Yeah, I probably would have kept that comment to myself had I known.
It's disappointing to me too.
Yeah,
I didn't want to see that happen.
Right.
Yeah. That is disappointing.
Sorry to bring down the show there.
The disappointing thing about it is there are some people, and to some extent this is a tempest in a teapot. Especially if it's just an Ian thing, although it is disappointing because but what bothers me is there are people who have chosen not to move to New Hampshire because they've seen the Free State Project as this big bad thing because of their treatment of Ian. And the thing is, I always say, well, come anyway. I never interact directly with the Free State Project except at PorcFest, and sooner or later they may ban me from PorcFest. I don't care. I'll still go to PorcFest, and I'll still be in New Hampshire doing my thing because even if they hate me, their existence here benefits me.
Sure.
So I have, I didn't decide to become a political activist because I wanted people to love me. God,
that wasn't it.
Wow. Well, how misguided would you think somebody was to become an activist for that reason?
I think we have a president who's very much guided by that thought, not as an activist, but as the idea that people will love me. He talks about that a lot.
Well, and some people do.
They do.
I'm not one of them.
I'm not either. But you know what I did find interesting? And what I love when governments finally realize the folly of their ways. When the silliness even becomes apparent to them. And this time it happens in Arizona, where they are close to abolishing an absurd licensing law that requires 1,000 hours of training to blow dry hair.
Wow.
You might hurt somebody with that blow dryer. I mean, it could get really hot.
I'm looking at a picture here of these two gentlemen. It looks like they're in a salon of some sort, but they're brandishing their blow dryers almost as if they were weapons.
This could be dangerous.
Do
they have a license for that?
Now, if your hourly rate is $15 an hour, that's demanding $15,000 worth of your time. Seriously?
It is insanity, but
plus whatever you paid for the training. Good Lord.
That is what we have come to expect from government. We're going to talk about that
Bring out the guillotines.
855-450-FREE. We're going to talk a little bit about occupational licensing laws.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. TheMorganReport.com. TheMorganReport.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live.
I'm not interested in supporting the killing of people around the world, and I'm not interested in supporting the imprisoning of people within this country. So that should make it pretty clear what my position is. What's yours, Frankie?
Kind of have an inclination that from what's going on and, the media, how the media plays into it, and how they're popping up with different areas in the world, like Somalia.
Who's popping up with different areas of the world?
Do you watch the news? You watch the news?
Hell no. Who's popping up? You said someone's popping up. They are popping up. Who is they?
I'm sorry. You know what it is? I'm thinking that you watch the news like I do.
I don't watch television. I don't even have television. Do you guys watch the news?
No, I read a lot of news, but I don't watch the news.
The problem is, Frankie, if we can't communicate, we can't have a conversation.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can reach us at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or hit us up on Discord, discord.lrn.fm. All you need is a high-speed internet connection, a decent mic, and a little bit of software loaded on your smartphone or on your laptop, and you will sound like you are here in the studio with us. And the us in studio tonight is myself, Chris.
Hey, it's Ian.
And Rich Paul.
And we've been talking about, I think we should continue with this discussion briefly.
Yeah, well,
we didn't even start it.
Yeah.
I was reflecting on the Free State Project as an organization and over the break, and I was thinking, the Free State Project and the Libertarian Party to some extent fits into this category. Is an organization where it's kind of like your dumb friend, where you like him, but he's kind of dumb, and sometimes he just says and does inexplicably stupid things.
Okay.
But you still like the guy, and you feel kind of bad for him. And, he is out there, like, sweeping up his little corner of the world and doing something useful, so you can't say he's a waste of skin.
Right.
He's just your dumb friend, and you tolerate him for his foibles, and if he gets in his way, you go around him because he's dumb.
Yeah.
And so I still love the Free State Project. I still love the Libertarian Party, but both of them give me facepalm moments sometimes, and this is one of them. This is like the whole treatment of Ian has reminded it. I mean, it's the same kind of feeling I had when I looked up from the Ron Paul 2008 campaign and said, oh, the Libertarian Party had a convention. They nominated who? Bob Barr? Oh my God, why didn't I pay attention?
Speaking of facepalm moments.
Yeah,
it's a big one. And I don't know, to me it's another reason I love the idea of decentralization, that you really do need we have to break this idea that any organization, whether it's Libertarian Party or the Free State Project Board of Directors or political parties can absolutely direct the movements of lots of different people or represent their ideals. And that just doesn't happen. And our government doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Governments in general cannot do that.
Yeah. And we also have to keep in mind that imperfect organizations can deliver beneficial results if they're operating in a limited capacity. Like, I still want the Free State Project to continue to exist and continue to bring people to New Hampshire, and I will continue my attempts to bring people to New Hampshire in my own right.
Yep.
Right.
We're doing that.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. And I really want, if somebody sends me, $500 or $1,000 to set it up, I want to start a new project, and I want to call it the Live Free or Die Project. Okay? And this is what the Live Free or Die Project would be. It's a bunch of New Hampshire residents asking libertarians from all over the country to come and help us preserve our liberty. This is not an invasion from without. This is an invitation from within.
Right.
And let it operate in the same state as the Free State Project, because what we do will benefit them and what they do will benefit us. But I think we need a separate exodus into New Hampshire besides the Free State Project.
I agree completely. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Tom from Detroit. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Ian. Good to hear you again, brother.
Hi, Tom. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, on my mind tonight is this Julian Assange. He has spent a lot of time in exile, in self-imposed exile, and now they're arresting him or giving him up because the U.S. government wants them to.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this?
About Assange?
Yeah.
He's a hero, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy has done so much for, as you were saying earlier, Rich, truth and getting the word out about what these, not just the U.S. government, but governments all around the planet are doing and how corrupt they are. I mean, he's probably one of the most effective journalists in our history.
Yeah, I would agree. I put him right up there with Bernstein and who was the other one? I should know his name. Who exposed Nixon?
Woodward.
Woodward and Bernstein. Woodward and Bernstein. That's like Simon and Garfunkel. See, that's, those are names that should be remembered through history.
They will be. They will be. And I would agree with that. What I particularly appreciate is that WikiLeaks has been, vilified and nearly sainted by the Democrats. And then you flip a couple years forward, and it's the Republicans who are touting how great they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
because they pointed out the silliness and the insanity that goes under both political parties here in the U.S.
I posted a meme today that showed the issues one by one and how for each issue, for each truth that Wikipedia exposed, there's one party saying throw him in jail, and there's another party saying yay, because the truth has been divided between the parties. That's why neither of them has the right answer.
Absolutely.
The Libertarian Party puts the truth back together, or the Libertarian philosophy, I would say.
They're all killers, liars, and thieves. And Assange, as you just said, and as you just portrayed, has violated both sides.
Yeah.
Because they are all killers, liars, and thieves.
So true.
Now, do you believe?
Thanks for your call.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. That's okay. I mean, well, I won't say that. I will say that I believe that the truth be known, the Democrats and the Republicans are run by the same people. I believe they form a single cartel. I believe that's closely guarded knowledge, I think they do.
I think the word you're looking for is oligarchy. I think that's what we've lived in for probably most of our lives. There is a group of people that are very wealthy and that can pull the strings, and they can get
They've
elected
effectively bought both sides.
Right, and one of my favorites is Bill Hicks's bit about when a new president is elected, he's taken into a small room. He has shown an angle of Dealey Plaza in Dallas that he's never seen before. It's a film from 1963, and he's never seen this angle, and they let him watch it, and then they say, okay, do you have any questions?
Yeah, see, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they, took if that happened, or even if they took Trump into a room and said, if you step outside the borders we prescribe, this is what's going to happen to your daughters. Maybe
that's why
I think there's
so
a reason
borders.
that single people never get elected president. It's hard. You don't have as much leverage against them.
You could be right. We're going to try to get into some silly laws when we return. Do you need to be licensed to blow dry hair? That's the question. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. We've got some time left if you'd like to join our conversation. We've been talking about Julian Assange. That's been the big news tonight. And a few other topics. We were just briefly discussing the pros and cons of heavily centralized... Yes. Of centralized organizations and how they struggle. They certainly struggle, and we see that at all levels. We see it in private organizations that are just trying to do a good thing in a single state, all the way up to governments and super governments like the United Nations. You know, it still means that there's going to be somebody in charge who's going to make calls, and those calls are not always going to be representative of everyone involved. In some cases, like you, as a citizen of the United States, most likely, though, our signal is heard all over the world, particularly not in the United States. You are not well represented, despite what you may have heard in civics class.
Yeah. Turns out taxation with representation ain't so great either.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna.
I love. Have we talked about the taxation is theft movement
in New Hampshire? You mean
in New Hampshire?
Dave Ridley called in about it. I don't know, about a week or so ago. It feels like now.
Yeah.
The what's happening is some of the state reps have been saying publicly that taxation is theft. I guess in front of like the state house.
They've been saying it, I think, during the state house deliberations.
Yeah.
And for those of you outside of our little world here in New Hampshire and outside of the Libertarian Party, it's been sort of a running libertarian ideal that taxation is theft. In other words, you don't have a choice. And if you don't have a choice in where your money goes and somebody else tells you where it's going to go through taxation, that's not providing for the good of society. That's theft. Yeah. That's stealing.
It's probably more accurate to say that a taxpayer is a part-time slave, but it doesn't roll off the tongue the same way.
Yeah, and
taxation
you can also say extortion in there too, because you are extorted to pay for things that you may not wish to. Yeah. Well, what happened here in New Hampshire was, we have a fairly healthy libertarian population, but suddenly a lot of the Republicans have sort of glommed onto this phrase too. So it's literally making headlines. Taxation is theft.
Are they? Wait.
Well, we've got some of the good kind of rhinos, though. We've got rhinos who aren't really Democrats. They're really libertarians, and that's a good kind of.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to know is, of these people who've been saying taxation is theft, how many of them are the actual libertarian state reps versus those who are the real Republicans?
I think if it were only the libertarian state reps, the sort of the closeted libertarian state reps, I don't think it would be a story. This is being talked about at all, coming from all over the place, and I'm
some
loving
people
it.
are pissed.
And the Democrats are. I haven't seen the Democrats so pissed off since we took away their slaves.
Right.
There's another thing where every time somebody says taxation is theft in the Capitol, and that's how I know it's during deliberations, because it's not open-ended, but every time someone says taxation is theft, there's a woman who's donating $5 to a liberal organization.
I heard about that.
Yes.
I heard there was a group of them that are.
And there's a vast email chain that's been evidently somebody leaked out.
So now what we need to do is start our own thing where every time a member of the House says taxation is theft, we'll donate $5 to their party.
Well, what I love about this whole idea the Democrats,
so long as they say it unironically,
the Democrats, in their response, they're like, no, we're going to show them, we're going to donate money to our causes, and we'll use this as as a fundraiser. Well, I'm like, well, great. So what you're promoting is raising money to support causes voluntarily.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's almost libertarian.
Yeah,
of course,
I know.
many of their causes probably want government to do things for
It would be a lot easier to pay taxes if you could, click no on these funds can be used for the military.
Yeah, and there's still a few that would get my. If I could pick and choose, a few would still get a couple bucks from me. Only a couple. We're going to go to the phones where we have Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I just want to say that a lady from Clovis, New Mexico, she ran over and killed a bicyclist here. And well, the thing is he's an Australian. So I'm talking to he's an Australian citizen that was visiting New Mexico, and he got killed.
Okay, the bicyclist was an Australian. Okay, that's what I thought you were saying. Just wanted to be clear.
Not the killer.
It did make them. No, it did make them. Well, I mean, she's from New Mexico. What do you expect? That's
Hold
how
on.
they
Did she
write
kill
here.
him in Australia or in New Mexico?
Or because he was Australian?
No, she killed him in New Mexico.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Did the Australian guy live, or did the Australian guy hit the guy? Wait,
it was an Australian guy who was the victim of somebody who, and it was just a car accident, right? It wasn't a murder. She didn't try to hit the guy.
Oh, we don't know that.
Well, she said ran him over and killed him. Okay.
Well, I mean, she hit him from the back.
Mm-hmm.
But the bicyclists, they get knocked off the bike and get scratched up, and it happens a lot. They get hit from the back, but she winded up killing him because she hit him so hard. The
Sarah,
thing is, they're gonna.
A lot of people like getting hit hard from the back.
If a car hits a bicyclist, I'm going to bet on the car winning. And it's tragic that someone died, but I don't understand for the life of me what him being from Australia has to do with anything.
I think she's saying the cars don't kill people, Australians kill people.
Or kangaroos.
No. Okay, I'm getting to this point is that they spent like our governor what I don't know. They spent millions of dollars on tourism advertisement, and then they come here and they get killed by a car, and they get crippled.
She's sad. She's just saddened by the fact that this gentleman was visiting, and he had his life cut short by somebody who was driving. We don't know what happened, as we have discussed with you on previous calls, Sarah. You're very interested in traffic issues and things like
Obsessive.
that. Yeah. A little bit. And it's not a bad thing to be concerned with other people and their well-being. So I can understand and appreciate where you're coming from. But the reality is accidents happen. And, you put bicyclists nearby 2-ton or 1-ton speeding death machines, and inevitably somebody's going to end up dead at some point.
Absolutely.
It's tragic. But
yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. Thank you for your
call. You're not going anywhere. I mean, I got news for you. As she's pointed out before, she's been watching this automated car thing develop with some level of excitement, but also trepidation, because we all know that if Windows crashes or whatever while this thing's driving around, or whatever operating system they're going to run,
or Skynet.
What happens? Well,
what's worse is what happens if a whole bunch of them fail at the same time.
Yeah. And so that's a legitimate concern. But either way, as long as people have to move from point A to point B and we don't have teleporters, there's going to be cars, and that means accidents.
There will always be accidents, and it's sad.
There is no risk-free life, though. I mean, there are a lot of risks to not having transportation, also like starving to death.
Sure.
Not being able to trade, having a lower standard of living. So, a lot of people die working. And a lot of people, that's not a result of capitalism or of anything else. It's just when you do useful things, it involves moving large things around. Large things will kill you.
And even if all that fails, life itself is terminal. It all comes to an end at some point, whether you want it to or not.
So I say live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse.
Nicely said.
If you ever had one.
There you go. 855-450-FREE.
If you ever had a corpse?
If you
a
ever
good-looking one.
Okay.
Really? A good-looking one, that's what he's saying.
Some things can't be rehabilitated.
855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Final minutes of our show tonight, but we still have a little bit of time. Do you want to call in?
God, I can't believe how fast that went.
I know, when you're having fun. Something about that, right?
Yeah.
855-450 free. You can try to get in. But I wanted to say thank you, honestly, thank you to Lynette, who is a gold amplifier. Amplifiers are people who help support the show. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote, and we use that money to go get more radio stations. That doesn't benefit us directly, what it does is help get the message of liberty in more ears. The more stations we have, the better it is. So Lynette has basically pledged to give $10 a month, which is pretty cool. If you want to find out more, you can find out more at amp.freetalklive.com.
Thanks, Lynette.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. So we try to do that every night. We try to find some amplifier and just personally thank you, and I really appreciate it. We are going to go to the phones.
Which, by the way, it's opt-in for that. So when you join the AMP program, by default, you're not on that list. But if you would like to be included on the list of people that we say thank you to, then you can there's a couple fields that you can fill out in your profile.
Thanks for clarifying that, because I actually was going to ask about that one night. No, we're checking with these people before we out them, right?
Oh, no, we call their boss at home, too.
Yeah, in fact, if you're a real privacy nut, you don't even have to give over any identifiable information. Like normally with like a credit card, you have to say who you are, right? But if you do Bitcoin, if you do a Bitcoin contribution over at amp.freetalklive.com, you can use a throwaway email address and, don't
That's
put anything
not a privacy coin, though. Do you take Zencash or do you take Monero?
Not at this time.
Okay.
It would take a lot of money to add those as an option. Basically, it's custom programming that has to be done to accept these things through the AMP program and kind of tie it all in together. And we hardly ever get Bitcoin contributions, so it is not really worth the time or money to actually hire a programmer to do any of that stuff.
And like anything else,
and that's nice. It indicates people aren't afraid to know that they're supporting the program. I'm glad of that.
Yeah,
right. And for a lot of people who will come up against that, well, Bitcoin was supposed to provide 100% privacy and security, and
no, it wasn't.
Well, exactly. The first answer is no, it wasn't. Second of all, half of that stuff is your responsibility, and if you want a transaction to be really, really secure, then there are ways with Bitcoin to do it. There are ways that are difficult to jump through, a lot of hoops and stuff like that.
People for years on darknet marketplaces, thousands upon probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of transactions occurred using Bitcoin.
Right.
So there are ways to kind of obscure yourself on the Bitcoin blockchain. So when you open up a Bitcoin wallet for the first time ever and you don't tell anybody that you've opened up a Bitcoin wallet, well, then nobody knows that you have that wallet. It exists. It's public on the blockchain, but whose is it?
Right. And now with, the idea that, and this was one of the improvements to Bitcoin, that every time you make a transaction, you're using a new address. It just becomes a whole lot of data for somebody to have to sort through to try to identify.
They do have forensic Bitcoin people.
You can also, though, have multiple wallets.
You could.
And for example, and you can send money from one wallet you own to another wallet you own through a third wallet that you never use except that. So there are ways to make it secure. You just have to do it. There are coins that do it for you.
It takes some thinking. With Bitcoin, it takes some thinking and some planning.
Definitely.
To do that.
And there are costs associated. There are fees if you move things between wallets.
True.
Yeah, and there's some technologies that are always coming out, and that's what's great about open source projects. Bitcoin is an open source project. Nobody owns the code. But
which means it can be copied.
It can be copied.
It has been thousands of times.
Well, sure. Virtually, we were talking about this in the last segment, that a lot of the coins that are out there are derivatives of Bitcoin's original code, but you also see these improvements. One wallet that I like for Bitcoin, because it doesn't support anything else, is Samurai Wallet. So Samurai supports something called Stonewall, which makes it appear that your transaction is part of a much larger group of transactions, which makes it much harder to identify who actually sent it. If there's a privacy wallet...
Is that different from mixing?
It simulates mixing. It makes it look like things are mixed, and at some level I think it does mix, but Samurai Wallet, if people are really interested in highly secure Bitcoin transactions, that's the one I would look at. Really, really good. That's Samurai Wallet, SAMOURAI. And we're going to go to the phones.
That is a tough one to spell, isn't it?
Yeah, they have to
Thanks for spelling that.
Yeah. SAMOURAI.com. SamuraiWallet.com.
Because you always want to make sure you get, just as an addendum here, you always want to make sure you get the URL of a crypto wallet correct. Or,
right.
Like, I went accidentally to an incorrect Monero website, which
the Monero.org.
Yeah, I think it was Monero.org.
Get Monero is the actual.
The
site.
actual one is
right.
Get Monero,
yeah.
and it's designed to look just like the real McCoy. And
just put in your private keys here.
Yeah.
Just send to your wallet here.
Now, the claim to that on that website when I looked it up after the fact, because I kind of figured it out as I was there. Like, wait a minute, that's not the right URL.
Right.
And usually when you Google the name of the coin, Google will return you the correct first result. So that's a pretty safe way to know that you've gotten to the right website.
Well, it uses links, so it's going to return the result that's most linked to.
Right. So I hadn't Googled it. I thought I was going from memory, and I got it wrong.
Yeah.
And not good.
It happens.
Although I don't Google anything anymore. I dogpile things.
Very nice.
Do you DuckDuckGo?
DuckDuckGo things.
Right.
I'll DuckDuckGoose things, but I don't Google anything.
So you've totally quit. You've given up Google.
Pretty much.
Wow.
It's set. There are a few things I use it for. Basically, there are. I
about
like
on your phone?
using. Not
you
on
ever
my
search-
on my phone is still running Android, so I'm still using Google there, and I use Gmail, but I
Gotcha.
don't use their search engine, and I'm moving away from that.
Yeah, there are a lot of things you can do to protect your privacy, and it's difficult. It takes effort.
Yeah.
The easy way is always the insecure way. It's always the way that gives up the most of your privacy.
Well, the real way to preserve your privacy is, first of all, have your own email server.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, unless
The
you're
average
Hillary
person
Clinton,
cannot do that.
The average person can do that.
Hey,
but
Rich, I mean, come on.
The same way that an average person can have a furnace, even though they can't necessarily maintain it themselves.
Oh, they're not going to do that. You have to be like a Democratic presidential candidate to be able to run your own email server.
If you can't,
I do it.
If you
Lots of
cannot
people
maintain your own email server, you're going to pay through the nose for some tech person to take care of that for you, because machines, programs, systems, they break down.
Yeah.
They don't run forever, whether it be a software update issue where they break the software on an update, or whether it be a piece of hardware in the machine just failing. You're going to have to pay. The average person
same is true of dishwashers, though. I mean, how often does your computer break down?
Well, there are a few and that's what's coming about. Open source solutions where people have done sort of this instant click here to create an email server.
Yeah.
And it will do it on your home machine. So those things are starting to show up.
But email
which are
is
cool projects.
Email's open anyway throughout the entire transition, meaning after you send your email, it goes through a bunch of different hands, different computers across the internet, all completely plain text, right? Like there's no encryption.
Oh,
there.
yeah, and certainly, but then again, the difference is you're not gathering it all in one place. The other thing is, if that's
you mean
important
it's not being data mined if it's on your own server.
Exactly. If it's not being data mined in the same ways. It's much harder to data mine. You can never render anything completely secure. All you can do is increase the cost of breaching your security.
Sure.
And there's low-hanging fruit, and then there's...
Every locksmith will tell you that, right? Like there's no lock that cannot be picked, cannot be defeated. By a determined opponent.
Sure.
Right. So what you do is the 80-20 rule. I mean, you can get 80% of the benefit of securing your server by doing 20% of the work, and generally that's sufficient.
Well, the example of this when it comes to email that I always think of is room 641A, which is at 611 Folsom Street in San Francisco. That was the AT&T room that had all
spy room.
The spy room.
One of many.
Yeah.
There was a whole other article about AT&T having a myriad of these around big cities in the United States.
Well, I mean, they're going to do that for corporate interests, if not for government interests. I mean, you can't just trust people with your data.
God forbid. But that's all the time we have tonight. I want to thank you for joining us here on Free Talk Live. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, where you'll hear even more interesting things that we could even come up with tonight. Thanks for joining us. This is Free Talk Live.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column.